Hello, everybody. This is Ajay Koul from AMD. Thank you for joining at ETCIO Conclave this year. From last 1 year, we have seen a challenging environment around us. While the challenges will keep coming, we at AMD are committed to build high-performance technology solutions that will help world to solve the toughest challenges by enabling new ways of innovation, research, and leadership in technology. Today, I'm going to walk you through how AMD is redefining the new standard for business PC and data center. Let me start to give a brief introduction about my organization. We have 12,000 employees plus together, operating out of 46 locations in 22 countries, headquarters at Santa Clara. We just completed about 52 years of innovation with a market cap of $100 billion listed in NASDAQ. World as well as India is getting back to this new normal. And I'm sure most of you can relate with these pictures today on my slide, what is happening around. Pre-COVID era, how we manage the show in the COVID times, and how things are moving, or I would say leaping towards the normalcy over the time. We're toggling between either to work from office, work from home, or work from a remote location. Earlier, our priorities were to optimize the experience on the devices, but last 1 year, the priority changed more towards productivity, responsiveness, working long hours. It's no more a 9 to 5 job nowadays. Now, what does this new normal even help, is all about today? You can see whether it's a fitness-free guy who's using technology, whether it's advice from a doctor which is required. Even weddings are getting video streamed for the relatives to see. And across everywhere, technology one way or the other is getting used. The user growth in using technology last 1 year has been more than 156%, and it's growing. Technology will going to stay, and these kind of ways and means of using contactless ordering till contactless payment and delivery is going to stay. Now, how do you differentiate between how it was earlier and what's in the modern era of devices, or what a modern workplace looks for? Traditionally, in the past, if you look at it, innovation was at a slow pace. People used to pay a little bit of a premium for getting an additional feature sets. In modern devices, the technology innovation is much faster, much powerful, and I would say the response soonest is also gone up. Past, there's always be a trade-off between do you need a more performance or do you look for more security? But if you look at the modern architecture today, it's both. One looks for both of them as the least minimum requirement. Gone are the days where people used to build up their products which had proprietary features. Customers and consumers today are looking for an open ecosystem products, may it be any OEM or a Microsoft for that matter. People are looking for products which are open and can be used for future security and manageability features. What happened last year? I would say it was a mobile era. There was a huge demand for mobile laptop requirements, and that was primarily because of the pandemic. Work from home was going up at a very fast pace. People were finding ways and means of using technology and devices which could be used from home and stay connected. A lot of these tech websites last year made this comment about AMD that they have rewritten the gaming laptop era, or they have rewritten the rules for an ultra-portable laptop, primarily because of the huge demand and acceptance which happened in the Ryzen space. People accepted Ryzen because of their technology, because of the latest architecture, because of the feature sets which a modern device looks for. Basis our internal estimates, the numbers for us in Ryzen has gone up 2x kind of a thing. That gives a clear indication that where the momentum or which side the momentum is today. Now let's take a pause and understand who are these employees and what kind of challenges they are facing. These are typically the employee persona we have in any organization. And I'm sure you guys can relate to it very well. We have frontline workers who use office productivity, web browsers, or a video conferencing kind of applications. We also have content creators using higher-end workstation machines, using 3D modeling rendering or a high-resolution images for editing. We have problem solvers too, who use the data they have, they analyze it, and we have software development tools around it to to find out what could anticipate, what could happen, going forward with that kind of a person with that data. We have IT managers who are, I would say, the interface between all these users with an organization. These are the guys who are running the show at the background. And may it be a PC or a network, these are the guys who enable the IT needs for any organization. AMD is innovating in this modern workplace with its new Ryzen range of processors. It's a perfect combination of customer-centric innovation. Makes the new Ryzen series a perfect choice for your businesses. Modern devices, they look for a modern architecture, which is primarily on Ryzen based of Zen 2 core. And it's the first 7 nanometer technology product, with AMD having the leadership in that side today. We're not stopping there. We continue to push our innovation forward. AMD is dedicated to help businesses to move much quicker, because it's not about just the speed nowadays. IT teams in every organization want to give one of the best devices they think for their users. And we kind of complement that thought process and help them to choose the right product around the user spectrum they have. Now let's understand what are these big, I would say, 3 main IT challenges today into the market. No organization, I believe, the first one is productivity, and no organization can afford to lose its employee productivity. And rightly so, all these times in COVID era, we have been, trying to make sure ways and mechanisms of having productivity going out at the pace it was in the past. While productivity is important, security is also taking a front seat, and we have seen CTOs and CIOs of organization finding, new tools to make sure their endpoint devices and their network is more secure, because everybody is at a different location nowadays. You're no more into your own office IT infrastructure, which was more secured. So that's what change has happened in today's world. And every organization has some business needs where, these IT technology people have to really manage on, and that's every organization looks for this technology to really enhance their businesses across the board. We got to change. And I would say we got to adapt to the changing world today. As the saying goes, change is inevitable. And in today's era, I think it's survival requires us to change. We are all here to support and enable this change in the workplace. I think the phrase "one jacket does not fit in all" has a lot of relevance today in the device perspective. Every organization has a unique requirement for compute perspective, budget perspective, and we at AMD are offering a different range of products, not just from the different range of devices, I would say different range of processors as well, depending on the usage model. We have an Edge series, which gets used for the higher-end compute, where performance, graphics, and all that is of utmost importance. We have a Pro series, which is for the premium business enterprise, where it has more enhanced security. And we have a new series, which gets used with a moderate security features, as well as processing power, plus the budget. So we have different series, and with OEMs, we are making sure that these different series get converted into the right kind of devices for a modern user. I'm sure most of you can relate it, what you have been using with your devices in the past and how you want the devices to be in today's time. We all are used to press of a button and productivity starts. Gone are the times, we used to switch on our PC and go to fetch a cup of coffee for ourselves. And by the time we come back, we used to see that the booting has happened. Today, it's no more like that. We have also seen when you have multiple tools working at one given point of time, machines slow down. And from the modern device, people don't expect that to happen, because people are going to use multiple applications at one given point of time. So multitasking and megatasking is of utmost importance in a modern device. Third important aspect, I think it's about charging the product once and be done with the whole day. We're so used with our mobile that we use devices as well to charge for the day and be done with it. Nobody likes to carry wires around it all the time. Work from home, again, this was a very important feature where people liked about having a full day battery life. It's no more a lifestyle, I believe. It's essential now. Now, how does AMD help you here? And why do you think we should look for AMD? Its foremost and important aspect is with Ryzen series of processors. When we launched 4000 series somewhere in mid 2020 to help people to boost the performance. Productivity was of a high importance. We were the only one to offer about 8 cores into a laptop segment, which has just a 15-watt TDP. And look, when we sold that, we've seen the performance jump depending on the application from close to 27% to 77% on productivity tools. That's where people started accepting and liking our product more. We were able to really offer with 8 cores, more applications could be opened, mega tasking and multitasking could be managed much easily. Again, battery, which I said to you earlier as well. These kind of products, which are based on 7 nanometers today, consume much lower power than the earlier devices which were available. So that was again a great feature, which most of the technology people liked about AMD. While productivity is one part, but the other way, you always collaborate with your customers, with your team members, with the outside world, using multiple collaborative tools, may it be Zoom or Microsoft Teams, or for that matter, Cisco WebEx. Similar kind of tools have been used, and they also need a lot of processing power. They need a good throughput, as well as a lot of these meetings, virtual meetings, where you use a PowerPoint or a video streaming, or for that matter, even Excel sheets. You need to look for a superior graphics. This is exactly what we were able to bring on the table with our Ryzen series of products. While we were able to cater to these demands of a user, we were also trying to give a peace of mind to the CTOs of the company or the IT managers of the company by offering these devices with much better security. The last thing I believe in today's world of working from home as well as toggling between office to home is an IT manager wants to hear is about security breach. That's something which he's definitely not looking for. And if he has devices and if he has solutions around it which can avoid those, they really appreciate and like such kind of a product. With our memory guard or a secure processor within our CPU, we are able to help with our ecosystem partners, both on software as well as OEM, to make them resistant to any side channel attacks. So that's where AMD plays a very active role with using the Ryzen series of process. We are not stopping there now. While the 4000 series, it's very well acceptable. People like the performance of the product. People like each and every feature set which a modern PC guy wants to. With the 5000 series now, we are elevating that experience of a user. May it be using a higher-end H series of a processor for content creation or for gaming, or even for the tech enthusiastic guys. We also have, the U series, which will continue for replacements of the old devices from the perspective of normal enterprise or a BFSI segment. And again, we are offering close to about 8 cores in that segment with an IPC upliftment of about 15-20%, which further boosts the performance. And imagine, we're increasing the performance and we are increasing the battery life too. So that's a great feature set which people are expecting. And while the experience is better, they're also trying to get a much better battery life and a much superior graphics. All this we are able to provide with our broader portfolio. I would say that we never had such a great broader portfolio in the past. Almost all the company who are into this device business today are offering AMD-based platforms. We're close to about 150 unique platforms being sold into consumer and commercial series of products with different OEMs. Now, that's a broad perspective of our AMD-based devices from different OEMs. I'll just touch upon for next couple of minutes about EPYC processors, what kind of a performance it offers. Now, how does it help a BFSI segment in terms of bringing the TCO, bringing the cost down, bringing the operational expenses down. And EPYC is known for its leadership in terms of the technology under the data center space. We started this journey way back in the year 2017 with our first generation processor. August timeframe, somewhere around 2019, we launched the second generation processor of EPYC. And I'm glad to announce today on this phone that we're going to launch the third generation of EPYC processor in this quarter. Now, this is a clear indication that kind of a roadmap we set to the market and how we execute it. If you look at EPYC, was one of the reasons that our market cap moved from close to about $10-20 billion to about $100 billion, because people realize that they have a much better roadmap and they have a much better product line to follow for next couple of years. Before I really go further about what the product is all about, let's face on some of the current data center challenges. I think network traffic with increased usage of virtual meetings, VPN, as well as cloud computing. The network traffic bandwidth requirement has gone up. There's always a demand for more compute power of what we have been able to give because of the uncertain reality what we have in today's world. Every organization today looks for optimizing the cost, bringing the TCO down. How do we reduce the footprint? By reducing the footprint, it gives you the edge of getting a little more scalable going forward. And at the same time, data security is of an utmost importance for every organization today as well. While these are challenges on one side, there are other organizational challenges where, people realize that what are the priorities to be there, what are the long-term and short-term plans in terms of execution for the migration or the refresh. There are also some risk managements which every organization does before migrating or looking for the new infrastructure, maybe in terms of even the resources they require to handle the new infrastructure. The question always is, what if I can anticipate and respond at the same time I can reduce the cost? Respond rapidly for the business environment. How do I protect my data? How do I make sure that the security features which are there in my product are good enough in this disruptive world? And the third important aspect is, what if how do we increase our agility? It's a very important thing. Everybody wants to migrate or look for a newer infrastructure refresh with minimum, I would say, risk factors into consideration. So this is where Epic can really make a big difference for you guys. Why do I say so? Why AMD Epic has become an obvious choice of the modern data center today? Primarily, it's about productivity. You get more productivity, you have a low TCO, and you get more feature sets in terms of the security. That's where Epic differentiates from others. The day we launched it in 2019, somewhere in August, we had 170 plus world records in our favor. And if you look at these world records, they are from different market segments, may it be a big data, cloud, HPC, Java-based applications, software-defined storage, or for that matter, database. All these places we have seen AMD excels very well. And these are the places, one way or the other, I'm sure every customer is looking for a product which gives them better performance in that segment. Now, what made AMD to get those 170 plus world records? I think that's a balanced class of an architecture, where we offer about 64 cores in a single socket. I think if you look at today's market, nobody's even near to the 50% of what we are offering from the core perspective. While core is, of course, very important, what do you get more beyond the core technology here? You get close to about 8 memory channels, which is again a world record today. We have more memory bandwidth compared to what our competitive products are being offered into the market. And we also support about close to 4 terabyte of a memory in a single socket. But that's a huge amount of a capacity which is required for a CPU subset, which is the memory, because CPU does a lot of talking with the memory on the real time. And that's what draws the performance. While memory channels are important, memory capacity is taken care of. What more a customer expects is IO lanes. End of the day, I may have the fastest processor, I may have the best of the memory capacity, but if my IO lanes are choking the network, it does not really make a lot of sense for me. What we are offering is 128 PCIe Gen 4. Now, Gen 4 makes a lot of difference because we're the only ones to offer that, one. Number two, there are products, whether it is network card or NVMe drives, which are coming on Gen 4. It's double the bandwidth of Gen 3. You have more lanes, you have double the bandwidth. That gives us a class of a performance from our products. And that's the main reason I would say for we having a better productivity, lower TCO, as well as 170 world records in our favor. Just throwing some numbers here for converting all these performance product have into the business options. So what do you get here? In a virtualization environment today, you can get as good as 167% of a better performance. If you look at the spec numbers, spec integer, spec FP, on the integer side, we are close to about 2x better performance than the competitive product which we are offering. We also help customers to reduce the number of servers in a particular rack because of the simple reason that we offer 64 cores, as a solution. More cores help you guys to reduce the number of servers you can put in your data center, help you to reduce the power consumption. It can go as good as 50% of the power consumption what you're doing in today's data center, and can bring it about close to about 56% better TCO in the virtualization. Well, these are feature sets, these are benchmarks, productivity scores. If you look at these scores and these numbers help a lot of our customers, especially in the cloud and HPC segment, to really adopt our technology very fast. Take any cloud service provider in the market today. There may be AWS, Google, Microsoft Azure, Oracle, Tencent. All these guys are using AMD-based instances, and they have a wide variety of instances which they are offering in the market, may it be for a general purpose or a memory optimized, for that matter, even the HPC optimized kind of a workload instances. We must have also heard of confidential computing, which is being built up on the security features which are on our silicon AMD, which is called secure processor. While we're doing great work on the cloud and enterprise segment, on HPC, where the performance matters a lot, you will see this year the most fastest supercomputers are built on AMD CPU and AMD graphics, which is by the name called Helicopter and Frontier. Employees today expect from their workplace having one of the best device, one of the best productivity experiences in this. And we at AMD are committed to help you with EPYC for the server and Ryzen from the device perspective. Thank you. With this, I end my presentation.